Hello! Has your Honeywell program gone all weird like this? So you can no longer read half the digits or the numbers because half of them are missing. So you can no longer use the unit properly. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can easily take this unit apart and fix the screen so you can use the programmer again. Because it's not the unit itself that's faulty, it's the screen which is gone. So it's just a case of repairing the screen. Now this is the programmer which I repair in this video. So you can see now the screen is looking pretty good. It's not 100%, but at least you could still use it. Now this did take me 3 attempts to get the screen to where it is now, and the last attempt is obviously the one which gets the best results. So if you watch the video to the end, you'll see that last attempt and how I got it to where it is now. And I think if you spent a bit longer, you might get it even better. If after watching the video you decide you're not going to try fixing your programmer, or that you have tried fixing it and you destroyed your screen or it no longer works, then you can always fit the Honeywell T3R. Now this is the programmer which I generally recommend and I use, and it's a very good programmer. And of course, if you want to get yourself one of these, then I've left a link down in the description along with a video which showing you how to fit and how to use this programmer, and of course that is also down in the description. Right, now let's quickly whiz through my intro and get on with showing you how to fix this programmer. My name's Mark Ballard and I've been a gas registered engineer for over 20 years. The aim of my channel is to help you with your central heating and your plumbing. If you find this video helpful in any way, then please give me some feedback by clicking on that thumbs up, and that will also help others to find the video. If you think this video is useful, then click on that subscribe, and if you want to receive a notification the next time I upload a help video, then click on that bell. And of course, share the video with your friends. And I'd like to say a really big thank you to everybody who's left a donation in my toolbox fund. It's really appreciated and it helped me to make more videos which will hopefully help you. And don't forget, check out my website where I've categorized all my videos and I've left links to all the products and parts that I recommend. Now as you can see, I have a whole load of these units. You can see that screen's gone on that one there. We've got this screen here. It does appear to be working okay, but I know it has been faulty and it's not been working properly. And I've got another screen here which is also gone, so you can no longer read anything on there either. So all we need to do is to take this apart and we need to take the screen out. Now this seems to be a bit newer because it's a bit shinier, so let's take a look at that one and see what we can do with this unit here. First thing we need to do is to remove the door, so just pull the door to one side and carefully unhook it from the programmer. Then we just take the batteries out. Now this cover here slides down, so we just pull that down like that and that cover comes off. And these are 2 brand new batteries, so I know that the display should be working fine. And then we need to get to the back of the unit. Now down inside here there's a couple of clips, one down inside there and one just here. See, there's a little arrow. So what I need to do is to get a little screwdriver and see just there, there's a little arrow pointing just there, and I need to just unclip that clip there. So I need to just put my screwdriver into here like this and then push and just clip that apart. Okay, like that. It's quite stiff. 1, okay, 2, that's it. And then that is then pulled apart, and now this will now pull apart. Here we go, carefully. And then this just hinges apart. There we go, hinges apart, because we have this like hinge on the top here. See how that goes into there? And that hinges backwards and forwards on there. So now we don't need this bit anymore because that's the back. Now we've got the circuit board here, and then behind the circuit board is the screen. So again, we need to release this circuit board, and there's a couple of clips here. Again, we've got a little clip on the side here, and then we've got a clip on the side over here, and we've got a clip over here and a clip over here. And we just need to release those clips so that we can take the circuit board off the unit. Okay, so here's interesting. So if we push on this button here, that one there, and if we push up on it, when we push that clip in, that's going to push the circuit board out of the clip like that. There we go. See, now that's lifted up a little bit there. See, we've lifted that one, pushing against it, and I'm going to push that clip in. Again, I'm pushing against that button on the bottom there. See that, just pushing against there. Okay, and that's going to push that out. Now we're going to lift this out carefully. Okay, just gently leaving it out. Now on the other side here, there's not many buttons to push, just this one big one. So we can just push that one big button in, and again, push on the little clip, pushing in the button at the same time, and pushing that clip, and then the circuit board will hopefully just clip up just gently levering it up. And then you'll see here there's these little crosses. Now those little crosses are where the circuit board lines up, and there's one on each side. Going to release this bottom clip now. It's going to push that one there in like that, and then I'll release the top one again. So now it should just pop out, and there we go, it's now popped out like that, and our circuit board should now lift out. Now, as I said before, take your time, just gently now lever out the circuit board. It can be a little stubborn, so just take your time, like I said, and just lever it out. And then make sure that that little switch, which is on the left-hand side there, make sure you don't lose that. See that there? It's just coming off. Keep that pushed on. It wants to fall off, but don't let it fall off because it might cause you more trouble trying to get it back on again. So try and make sure you keep that switch pushed on the circuit board. Now I've lifted the back of the circuit board up. Now I just got to lever the circuit board up at the front there. Just see those two crosses? I've just got to lift it up so it goes past that little cross there, and do the same on the other side. Now whilst I'm just doing this and just fighting with the circuit board, don't forget you can click on that subscribe, you can click on the like if you think this video is useful, and of course don't forget to share this with your friends. Now going back to the circuit board, make sure you keep that switch pushed onto the circuit board because you don't want to go losing that switch or having that switch dropping off. Now don't go losing any of these buttons, make sure that they stay inside, because if you turn it over all these are going to fall out. Okay, so don't, just leave that as it is and just put that to one side now. Now we have our circuit board just here, and now we need to release the screen from the circuit board. Now that's just done from a couple of clips again. That is pretty straightforward. One just here, and then there's two on the top. So let's just get that unclipped, and then once you've got that unclipped, there's also the plug which plugs the screen into the circuit board. So we've got that plug on the end there, and we just got to be careful and make sure that when we remove the screen away that we're careful that we remove the pins and they pull the circuit board straight down away from the plug. And there we go, that's the screen now removed from the circuit board. So we can now put the circuit board to one side, and now we have to remove this part of the circuit board and the screen from the front plastic piece. Now mine was kind of glued in with some glue, so it was a bit tricky to get off, and I did spend some time just fiddling around and gently removing it from the plastic container which is in. That's the front screen. Now also when we're lifting up the circuit board, be careful because at the very top there is a ribbon. That's an electrical connection, runs along the top there. It joins the circuit board to the screen. And then just here is a little bit of glue which is just holding that circuit board in place. So we can just get rid of that little bit there now. And now I have to remove the glass screen from this plastic container. Again, that was a bit tricky, but again, it does come out with a little bit of gentle persuasion. Now we have the bit which I've been trying to get to. So now we have the screen and the circuit board that's joined onto the screen. Now this white part is actually a light, so when you push the button it lights up, and it's also the back end for the screen. And you can quite clearly see the electrical piece of ribbon which I was talking about earlier, which joins the screen to the circuit board. Now what I've heard people say is that this piece of glass has become delaminated away from the white backlight. Well, that is not the case at all. The glass screen is made up of two pieces of glass. In the middle of the two pieces of glass is that clever bit of electrical stuff which allows you to see the numbers on your screen. Now what we want to do is to clamp this piece of glass together and then heat it up, and that will hopefully join the circuits back together again so you can then read that screen again. Now I think the best way to do this would be to try and just heat the screen up on its own without the circuit board and the light in place. So we just put the clamp on the side here, and then put another clamp on the other side, and then a clamp on the other side. But then the trouble is I can't get a clamp onto the other edge to keep that bit clamped down. So for me this is not going to really work. I mean, if I was going to try and do this and keep it, then I would try and find some other sort of clamp so I could do that and clamp that other edge there. So I'm just going to clean the screen off, make sure there's no little marks on there or bits of dust, and then I'm just going to fold it over and then clamp it down onto the backlight. If you do decide to do it this way, make sure you keep it nice and square on the backlight and then clamp it all the way around. So on this occasion I'm putting the clamps on like this. Now like I said in the intro, this took 3 attempts to get the screen to what I would say was acceptable. So the first time I just popped it on top of a toaster and I cooked it for 30 seconds on top. And then it was just a case of reassembling it. So take off all 4 clips, Carefully slot the screen and circuit board back into the front plastic panel. Then carefully line up the pins and then push the screen down onto the main circuit board. Make sure that all 4 of the clear plastic clips clip back into place onto the main circuit board. Make sure that the sliding switch is in the correct position on the main circuit board. Now we have to put the circuit board back into the front panel. Look for the 2 crosses on the front panel and the circuit board then lines up with those 2 crosses. Then it's just a case of pushing the circuit board down onto the front panel. Make sure that the circuit board has clipped back behind the 4 clips. Check your selector switch works okay. Then take the back cover, line it up with the hinges, hinge it around and then snap it back into position on the 2 clips in the battery compartment. Now for the moment of truth, put the batteries back in and see what happens. You can see with this attempt it didn't work very well at all. In fact, it might actually be worse. So I then just repeated the whole process all over again, stripped it all apart again, clamped it back together. Then I reheated the screen again, and you can see this time the screen started going a bit blue in the corner there. Wasn't sure if that was good or bad, but then it's a case of reassembling it and checking it again. So after attempt number 2, the screen is looking a whole lot better. We can see far more digits now, but there are still some missing. So I'm going to try another attempt and see if we can make it even better. So this is attempt number 3. This time I used a pair of tongs and I just gradually heated it up. I kept turning it over and around and just moving it around so the heat wasn't just concentrated in one place. And I kept doing that until I turned the screen completely blue. I also put the clamps in a slightly different position, as you can see. And then once again, it's just a case of reassembling it and trying it again. And you can see this time it is way better. We have nearly all the digits back on the screen. There are still a couple missing, but I think I'd be happy with that. You can see I've run through all the program settings and everything seems to be coming up on the display as it should do. There are those 2 little black dots on the screen, but those did fade away. Now, one word of warning though, if you are going to do this, there is a chance that if you get it wrong, you're going to end up with a screen looking something like this. If you get it too hot, it does melt and this screen no longer works. So do be careful. But then in some ways you've got nothing to lose, because if you can't read what's on the screen, then you can't use it anyway. And if you break it, fixing it, then again, you've lost nothing. Now, if you do try this method out, then let me know in the comments below how you get on. Right, that's about it then. So I do hope my video has been helpful to you. If you want to watch my next video, then you can click on the link just here. And if you found my video helpful in any way, then please give me that little bit of feedback by clicking on that thumbs up. And like I said, that will help others to find the video. And if you enjoyed the video, then you can click on subscribe. And if you want to receive a notification the next time I upload a help video, then click on that bell. And of course, share the video with your friends. And if you want to buy me a cup of coffee, I'd like to say a really big thank you to everybody who's left a donation in my Toolbox fund. It's really appreciated and it helped me to make more videos, which will hopefully help you. Bye for now, and I'll see you next time.